I started this album while I was making the last one. And what happened is I did all these demos and I thought I'll get a producer now to kind of take it to somewhere else. And I met David Holmes, who done this album with me previously. So I called him and he came to London to listen to these tracks. And he said, yeah, they just sound finished. I come to Belfast to his studio. And in between the breaks of making Chasing Yesterday, I was going to Belfast.
Yeah.
And I said to him, well, what about the songs? And he said, don't write any songs. We'll do that in the studio. I was making it up as we were going along. Going in there with nothing was something I've always shied away from. But I've got to say, now I've done it, I didn't find it that hard at all.
Really?
And most of the songs started from either like a tiny riff or a drum loop or even a conversation about a different band and him saying, you should write a song like Blondie. What, you mean Hitler's Faithful Dog? And he said, no, the American, punk band. And I was like, good. And I'd get to a bit where I'd be writing a song and he'd say, stop there, I've heard you do that 1,000 times. And I'd go, yeah, no, but it's amazing, isn't it? And he'd say, yeah, it's pretty good, but do something different. But it was fascinating process.
That's hard. When you've had your success, it must be hard not to go back to what's always worked.
There was bits where I was thinking, I've got all these riffs on the songs that I'm writing. He won't know. How's he gonna know? And he knew every time and I'd be playing along and he'd say, is that one of yours? You just written that? And I'm like, oh, I've just come up with that right now, this second. And he'd say, nah, I've heard it all before, do something different. I was like, bastard. Let me tell you this story, right? So we do the gig in Dublin. We go to the after show. I'm staying at his house. And we leave at 5:30, 5:45. The after show is still mobbed. So the next thing I remember is my phone going. And I'm in this place. And I've kind of looked and it's him on the phone. Oh, you're alive. Where are you? And I was like, I was in a guest house at the bottom of his garden, right?
Oh, what, like the guest house?
Like a guest house, right? So he says, oh, you're alive. Anyway, come on, everybody's here. Hurry up. What for? And he said, for the lunch I'm throwing in your honour, the 75 guests have arrived. And when I just got about, he said, look, the President of Ireland's just arrived and you're sitting next to him, so hurry up. And I was like... So I have to get in, get showered. The lunch started at 3. You know what time it finished? 4:10 in the morning. And we're flying to Paris for a gig the next night. And I was telling my tour manager going, Neil, you've got to get me out of this. Get your bags. We'll pick you up at 11:45. I got to say, I was going to do a runner. I mean, I was in a mess. I get accosted by Bono in his dressing gown. With 2 beers under this arm, eating scrambled eggs, listening to opera. And I was like, well, I was going to go to Paris. For this gig we're going to do. Nah, stay here, come on the private jet. This is the part of the story that kills me. More boozing. We land in Paris. He says, look, when the jet lands, I've got to go off and do this thing, so I'll see you at the hotel. I get to the hotel. And as I was kind of sitting down, I put on the telly and I'm flicking through. And there's Bono doing a live press conference with the Prime Minister of France about Africa. and I know what we've been up to the previous 3 days, and I'm going, he's not real, man. Don't you love Conor McGregor?
It was amazing. Oh, God. Did you watch the fight?
Oh, yeah, I stayed up. I was at Russell Brand's wedding that day. And,
hang on a minute. Let's rewind. Traditionally at a wedding, you're all meant to sort of sit around. You go and watch, slope off and what, or did Russell stick it on?
Oh, no, Russell kicked us all out at midnight. And I think he let the Harry Krishnas stay, though.
Yeah. You can't throw them out.
I lost a pair of sunglasses. And
you blaming the Harry Krishnas?
I'm blaming the Harry Krishnas, yeah, for sure, man. Yeah.
Because it was a great story. And this is a guy, Conor McGregor, 4 years ago, is an unemployed Irish plumber. And now he's...
But he's the trash talking just like, oh, man, I love him.
He's cool.
Oh, he's a dude. As an absolute dude. He makes me cry laughing when he's going on about...
He's laugh out loud funny.
Floyd Mine with his baldy little head.
Yeah, 16,000 people just at a press conference, fans, on a Friday night. And Conor was like a stand-up comedian.
Yeah. Charisma will get you a long way. If you're talented and you've got charisma, the world is your oyster, you know what I mean? And that guy's got it. It's like, wow, where have you come? What planet have you come from? He's unbelievable. And the mink
there is an otherworldliness about him, isn't there?
Yeah,
where you're just like, where does that come from?
For sure. I'd love to meet him. I've got a lot of Irish friends from Dublin, and they said, oh, guys like him, they're on every street corner where he comes from. He just happens to be a fighter. They said, that place where he comes from, they're known. They will not let you have the last word in any argument at all. That's what they're like. And his dad will be worse.